everyone, my name's Claire. I'm one of the cooking demonstrators here at the Australian School of Meditation and Yoga. Today we're doing a cooking class again for cooking days on the Wednesdays. Today I am cooking a Chinese dish called Dan Dan Noodles. It is from the Sichuan region of China, and it's a street food. It's delicious, it's incredibly easy to make. It's made within 10-15 minutes, which is an easy vegan weekday meal for you. And I am so happy that I can show you this for my very first class, which hopefully it's one of many. So to start off with, I'll go through some of the ingredients that I've made my own, because obviously it's being traditionally Chinese, it is a dish made with pig meat, but I've switched a few things and I've made it my own little delicious meal for you to enjoy, hopefully at home. So today we'll start off with the meaty portion of the dish, which I'm using textured vegetable protein. I've just put a little bit of the mushroom stock in with some hot water to pumping it up. If you've never used textured vegetable protein, you can just get it from Woolworths. It's just a soybean meal, and you just rehydrate it with water and let it sit for just a couple of minutes, and it comes out really fluffy like this. So that's going to be on top of the noodles today, which today I'm just using rice noodles, so it's a gluten-free option, but you can absolutely use any noodles that you prefer. These ones I find are a bit lighter and really, really easy to cook with. So you just chuck it in some hot water and they're ready within about 8 minutes. So to start off, we're just going to put some neutral cooking oil into the hot plate, which I've already preheated. It's not very, very high because we don't need it to be. So I'll just put that in there, just about a tablespoon and a half or so, depending on how many you're cooking for. Today, we're only just going to do just a single portion, just to show you, and then you can try it at home, and I'll give you some substitutes as well if you don't have all the ingredients. So I'll let that cook. That's a little bit too hot. And what I'm going to cook first is the textured vegetable protein with some green onions, just the white part of the onion, or the spring onion, because that's the cooking portion of it, with some garlic, some ginger. We've got a little bit of soy sauce. Today I'm using a lighter Japanese style soy sauce, which I prefer because it is a lighter, more mild, flavorful option rather than the Chinese options, which are a little bit more bitier and salty. So I've got that in there today, and also a Chinese cooking wine. So we're just going to make that, which is quite an authentic flavor to use in this dish. So let that heat up a little bit there. Just chuck this one, the textured vegetable protein, in. So that's gonna cook up nicely. We want this to be hot because we want it to crumble. We want it to be quite a crunchy texture on top of the noodles, because the noodles are going to be quite soft. So I've just chucked that green onion in there, the spring onion in there as well, to cook that off, because we want that to be a softer part of it. So get them out of the way. So I'll just move that around, get that oil infused in there, and you can already see that it is getting nice and crispy in there as well, which is exactly what we're after. So I'm just going to put in a little bit of garlic and ginger. So I'll just put about that much in. So that's about a teaspoon of each of the garlic and the ginger in there. So I've got to cook them off as well to make that all really flavorful and infused in that textured vegetable protein. So I'll mix that all in there like that. So that's on quite a low to medium heat now, and that's just going to cook through. We don't want that to burn too much because we do want the garlic and the ginger and the spring onion to cook in there. And then we're going to put in a tablespoon of each, the soy sauce and the Chinese cooking wine. So just chuck that in there like that. Like I said, matter of minutes, this is going to be ready for you. And if you don't have the Chinese cooking wine, which you can get from most Asian grocers, that whole bottle cost me, I think, about $2. So it's certainly very easy to get. But you can just use rice wine vinegar, Chinese black vinegar, which you can find in most normal standard grocery stores around you. So that's all you want to do, and you want to cook that cooking wine down a little bit, as much as the soy as well, to cook that into the textured vegetable protein, and that'll soak up quite a lot of the goodness as well from those flavors. So we let that sit for a little bit there, but we'll keep an eye on it because we don't want it to burn, we just want it to crisp up. So put that there. So basically that's all you need to do for that. Nice and easy, done. And just, as I said, keep an eye on it because yeah, we don't want it to burn. So that's ready once it's all crispied up. And so the main part, which is the sauce, and this is my favorite sauce. I cook this every week without fail because it's just so easy and so delicious, and I'll explain what I put in it for you. So you don't need Chinese cooking wine anymore. So the base of it and the heart and soul of this dish is the chili oil. You can get chili oil from the store, but this is my homemade one, which we can put the recipe up, which is just a mixture of cooking oil, chilies, star anise, bay leaves, cinnamon, a little bit of Chinese five spice. That's a nice addition in the textured vegetable protein as well. Chinese five spice is a beautiful flavour to put in this, but we'll keep it a little bit basic because we've got the Chinese five spice in the chili oil. And sesame seeds in there as well. So this is my absolute favorite, love of my life right here in the food, which I absolutely adore. So this has about two tablespoons of chili oil. And so if you don't have chili oil at home, it's totally fine. All you need to do is heat up just standard neutral cooking oil. You can use sunflower, peanut. They're definitely ones that I use quite often in my chili oil when I cook it. So you want to put maybe about 50 mils if you're just cooking for yourself. And I'm just going to stir this again with some garlic, fresh or minced garlic, chili, and you can put a little bit of garlic in there as well, maybe a bit of spring onion, and then sesame seeds in a bowl, and then just pour the hot oil straight from the pan in it into the bowl. To know when the oil is ready to pour into your mixture, just put a little bit of the garlic into the oil, and once it starts sizzling immediately, you know it's ready. Unless you have a temperature gauge, it's about 120 degrees. I wouldn't go any further than that because you don't want to burn any of the ingredients. So I've got 2 tablespoons of the chili oil that I've made at home. I'm going to put some ginger in as well. So I'm just going to use that spoon. Pretty sure there's, yes. Putting about half a tablespoon of ginger. And I'm just going to mix that in because we want to make sure everything is infused properly into this. And then I'm going to put peanut butter. Put about a tablespoon to half a tablespoon of peanut butter. If you're not a fan of peanut butter, or if you're allergic, you can use sesame paste. I would recommend getting sesame paste rather than tahini. Tahini is slightly different. It's a slightly different flavour where the sesame paste is maybe toasted sesame, whereas the tahini is not. So it is a different flavour to what flavour you're going for. So I've just mixed that in. So I mixed bit by bit, and that's because we want everything to be mixed in properly, particularly if you're using a peanut butter or a sesame paste, because they do tend to get quite sticky. So I've mixed that in there. Now next I'm going to put in another tablespoon of just the Japanese soy sauce. You can use any soy sauce. As I said, this is just my preference because it is the more mild. You can use tamari if you're going gluten-free because this has a higher content of wheat in it. And then I'm going to put in a tablespoon of dark soy or sweet soy. Today I'm using ketchup mayonnaise, which brings out the richer sweetness in the sauce. If you don't have a dark soy or a sweet soy in the house, you can just use 1 tablespoon in addition with the soy sauce, and then a teaspoon of a sweetener of your choice, a molasses, brown sugar. I believe the coconut palm sugar would probably be the nicest flavor in this. You can use maple syrup if you like. As you can see, this is getting quite crumbly and quite dry, which is what we want. It's not too dry, which is good, but we do want that to be a dry portion because we are using quite a lot of sauce here. So I'm just going to turn that off because I believe that's pretty good there. Way. So I've got the 2 soys, and then we're going to do half the amount of black vinegar to the soy sauces. So I'm only going to put about a tablespoon in of the black vinegar. That breaks out those sweetness and the salty flavors with the tartness. Just like that. So mix all of that in. And then I'm going to put in some spring onion. I'll probably put about a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of spring onions in, just to bring a little bit of freshness into that as well. So that is basically the sauce, and then I'll add a little bit of the noodle sauce, which I've already prepared the noodles, so we didn't have to wait for that. But as I said, you're probably only going to have to wait about 6 to 8 minutes for those noodles to cook. I'll put a couple of tablespoons of noodle sauce in there, the noodle water, into there, and that'll help mix the noodles through the sauce, and it will allow the sauce to grab onto the noodles. So that is the sauce there, that is done, easy peasy. I've got some little extra vegetables as well, which I'm going to chuck into the water because we just want to heat them up a little bit to soften them. That. And while we're there, I'm just going to grab that spoon again. This is my noodle water. I'm just going to pour some of this water into the bowl, just about 2. Like that. Mix that in. And you don't need any extra bowls. You can just mix it right in the bowl. If you're doing more, just portion it out because we don't want to have so many bowls that we have to wash up at the end. Like that. Now, what we do next is get my noodles, which I've already cooked. Chuck that in into the bowl. Like that. Alright, I'm so excited. I do eat this as much as I can, at least once a week, because it is so easy and delicious. So you don't have to have something that's, super complicated in order for it to be delicious. You just have this and it is just so amazing. So just mix it in like that. I'm going to just chuck some garnishes on this now. So I've just got some cabbage, and I'm going to sprinkle some lime on there as well, like that. And I'm going to put some of this, my textured vegetable crumb on top as well. Like that. And it really doesn't need the textured vegetable protein. You can use tofu as well, put some tofu chunks in there. You can have it completely without it if you just wanted a very simple dish. Now, I'm just going to grab my slightly wilted greens in there as well. So just cut that one off. Like that. And then put some more garnish on. And there we go. That is Dan noodles. Easy peasy. Let me do it this way. Honestly, it's the easiest meal that you can eat on a weekday and be so satisfied, and you will just love it. And hopefully I can get some feedback on it as well, because yeah, it is honestly my favorite meal, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.